Hi and welcome to the channel Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. If you could, please do give this video a thumbs up, be appreciated, and also consider subscribing to my channel. Once again, would be really appreciated. For my returning viewers, thank you very much for sticking with me while we go through the Final Destination franchise for Final Destination February, and we're at the final destination. Not the Final Destination, that was last week, go back, check that one out. But to be honest, you're not missing much. This one, Final Destination 5, came out in 2011. Directed by Stephen Quayle, it stars Nicholas D'Agosto, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, Emma Bell, Arlen Escopato, Miles Fisher, Ellen Rock, hopefully once again pronouncing that right, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, PJ Byrne, David Ketchner, Courtney B. Vance, and of course, Tony Todd is back in Final Destination 5 as Bloodworth. Now the plot, and there will be spoilers ahead, so if you have not seen this one, do go and check it out, then come back and let me know what you thought of it. So, Death returns to claim the lucky survivors of a deadly bridge collapse. So, as with all the Final Destination movies, there is a massive disaster that happens at the very start. What I did not like about this is the way that the disaster, and actually this was true with most of them, the disaster itself, when you're looking at the premonition, when you're watching it, it goes for quite some time. However, when they're watching it from outside, it happens like that. Like seriously, it's a good 10 minutes of disaster, but then when they're watching it, 20 seconds. So that really didn't add up to me. And I get why they do that. Don't get me wrong. Like I understand, you know, you've just watched 10 minutes of it. You're not going to be standing on the sidelines watching it for 10 more minutes, but it was just an annoyance. So the cast in this is actually pretty decent. The performances are really good, but the characters aren't the greatest. I actually found them quite bland and somewhat annoying, to be honest. Still, it is a vast improvement on the previous installment. The characters in that one were just bad. There is a lot more life to these characters. They're a lot more fleshed out. I just personally found them, a little bit bland and annoying. Now, the writing and the story in this, okay. This will be a big spoiler, so if you have not seen it, I'm telling you now, spoilers ahead. This is a much smarter and well-written tie-into the franchise compared to the previous two. This movie is a prequel. There you go. But the way it ties into Final Destination 1 and Final Destination 2 is very clever and it's really well done. There are Easter eggs throughout this film all the way along, and once you've seen the movie and you know how it ties in, you do pick them up. It's really well done. Like they put a lot of thought into this one. I really enjoyed it. So, directing wise, it's a good job, especially for the eye-popping effects. Like they blend in really well. They've done a good job of tying in the CGI effects, which usually I don't like, and I'll touch on that in a minute. They've done a good job of tying them into the actual movie itself and blending it in quite well. They look good, and the way they fake out the deaths, which they do a few times, they're done really well. I enjoyed them, and that's obviously part of the writing, but the directing as well comes into that. How they lead into them and they fake you out with something that's going to happen here, but actually happens. Really well done. I really enjoyed that. Particularly PJ Byrne, his death in the massage parlor. You think you know what's going to happen because you see everything and then out of nowhere, bang. Very similar to a few different deaths throughout the franchise, but these were just done really, it's really hard to describe how well they were done. They were just there and it just felt right. And this, obviously the effects for the deaths, like there's a lot of good effects in this, and yes, mostly it is CGI, and as you know, I am not a fan of CGI. I do not like CGI blood and guts. These ones, actually not too bad, I'll give it that. They're not great, but they're not terrible either. They're not a patch on any physical effects, which you do see some physical effects in this. And when you do see them, they are good. The one with David Koechner's character, or Koechner, however you pronounce his surname, once again, apologise if I'm butchering it. His death scene, that just looks good. And the special effects, it's a quick glimpse, but it looks good. It's a well done effect. Rewatchability for this is a really tough one though. Now, as it is a prequel, it ties directly into Final Destination 1. So you could watch this, then you could watch Final Destination 1 and 2, and you would have a full trilogy and a full story arc as well. But to be honest, for me, the best ones are still the original, Final Destination 1 and Final Destination 2. You don't need this one, but it is a nice tie-in, and I do enjoy it. So, yes and no. It's, take it or leave it. Now, all through this series, I've been looking at the best kill. This one is no exception, and there are lots of good kills in this. I don't want to consider the actual opening premonition deaths, but the actual deaths in the movie, you've got two. One of them is Olivia, which has a really good fake out, but it's a laser eye surgery. So obviously wearing glasses, I'd probably considered laser eye surgery myself, and after watching this, there is no way in hell, not a chance. I'll stick with my glasses, thank you. But also David Koechner's character, Dennis, who gets a wrench to the face. Now, overall, usually it is anything to do with the eyes that would get me, and this one does tie into that, but Dennis's death scene, David Koechner's character, it's just so fast and bam, blood, wrench right through both eyes. The effect looks really good, so he wins. Overall as a score, while this isn't my favourite, it is much, much better than Final Destination 4 or The Final Destination. But it's still not a patch on the originals. But it is, I would say, it's equal to the third film, so I'm going to give this one a 6.5 out of 10. There you have it. That is my ranking or my reviews of the entire Final Destination series until Final Destination 6 comes out, which I think is later this year. So I might go back and revisit it, but we'll see. There you have it. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, if you could, please do consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to my channel for future content. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.